text messages out to all your team members.
Great morning, Mr. Bean.
Good morning, Carla. Yeah. Okay, good deal. All right, good deal. We'll go ahead and get this show on road then. And let's see here. See, Candy was the first person in the box this morning talking about getting the first movers advantage on things. Well, guys, this is definitely the Saturday morning, what we used to call matinee back in the day when we were kids. We get up here and watch the Saturday morning cartoons, have a good time. That's our entertainment. These days, us grown folk, we have to get up and get better, right? And entertainment these days is learning how to, role play, learning how to, become professionals and all the rest of the other good stuff. So, let's see here. Carla, I have you and as a help for the day with me, and Angel as well. Mr. McHenry is on, got you as a co-host as well. And so guys, what we want to do also is, like I said, we are in the wake of a natural disaster, and the situation in California um, is inexplicable, and it's one of those things. Like I said, I can't fathom what people are going through today, and how they're waking up today and what they're waking up to today. And so we will, just give them a moment of silence and say a word of encouragement, to yourself for them, or a word of prayer, if you will, to yourself for them. And we'll get our day started in just a second. All right, good deal. Okay. So, guys, this is what we call our crash camps. This is where we get in here and we invest a couple of hours into each other. This is where we learn from each other as well, and this is where we come back and we create social proof for people who are brand new and people who are wanting to get it together, right? And so, what it is and how we do it. What we want to do right now is we want to take a moment to go through some wins. And so, if you have some reflections on some wins, some things that you learned last week, you want to get us started, we'll go ahead and do that and go from there. And I have Carla.
Great morning, Mr. Bean. The biggest wins that I've had for the week is an increase in my own activity in terms of the number of people that I'm reaching out to, the number of people that I'm exposing the business to, and also, you know, learning from you and from all of the speakers this week, as well as our Grant Cardone program, as far as keeping the appointments, solidifying those appointments, and making sure that I do additional, increased follow-up. Thank you so much for allowing me to share.
No problem at all. I love self-reflection. I love the increase in activity, and I'm sure you're tracking it. And so, definitely want to make sure we are doing that. I want to make sure every day counts and every day matters. Um, every day, guys, you're getting better. Whether it's 1% better than you were yesterday, by the end of the year, guys, you're, almost twice as, the man or woman that you were at the beginning of the year when it comes to your skill set and what you do. And so, just get better, every day. Just hold yourself accountable. If you have accountability partners, that's fantastic, but hold yourself accountable as well. So, thank you for getting us started. Jeremy Dennis.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Uh, I sent you a couple messages. I've been kind of crazy this week with the snow removal and stuff. But I needed some Sam Bean medicine this morning. Been able to get on some calls. I've just been working a lot of hours, but a couple wins I had today, this week, while doing snow removal, picked up a solar client, and me and Idris did a solar proposal for him. Had a commercial deal with the city of Arnold. Me and Liam met with the city of Arnhem council meeting, and that all went good. But that's pretty much all I had this week, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well,
But just wanted to get some Sam Bean medicine this morning. I've been having Sam Bean withdrawals Mr. Bean, with your not being on the calls. So had to get on
Yeah.
before I went back out to work. So
That's all right. Hopefully, we can warm you up while you're out there fighting the snow. So, I mean, but again, just keep it going, man. Keep it pushing, and again, continue to master what you do. And it's one thing to say that's all I got going, but you always have something going on every week. I know some people who have nothing going on for full months. So, they call themselves business partners and business people. So, entrepreneurs always have something going on. They're always on purpose. And so, man, fight that snow, man. Stay warm, bro. Stay warm. Kathy Jewell.
Great morning, team. Just wanted to thank you, Mr. Bean, for this opportunity, this platform. Most of all, just want to thank my senior partners, Eddie and Sabrina and Angel. They are the bomb.com. But anyway, just as Miss Carla was saying, reflecting on the week, just, tapping into the trainings as much as possible, and also myself increasing what I do as far as exposure. I know that I need to bump it up a little bit, but while doing it, I'm learning so much about what's going on out there in our communities. I One of my friends, she's a realtor, and I approached her with the business, and it wasn't the first time that I've mentioned it to her. And just like we've always said, they may not listen to you, but they'll listen to the next person. So, we've been in business before together, and I told her, I said, look, you know how this go. So you're not listening to me. That's why you need to get on the call that I'm inviting you to, so that you can get a better understanding and that you'll receive what I'm saying to you. But anyway, needless to say, in the midst of all that and talking about, green energy, I found out that her sister has solar, and she started questioning me about that. So anyway, make a long story short, Xfinity is selling solar to their customers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she has her solar panels with Xfinity. And what Xfinity is doing is they're not charging their customers for the panels, but what we're doing is they're going in, servicing them, putting the panels up, and and they don't have that bill or whatever. And so she brought that up to me, blase, blase. But anyway,
Yeah.
we had an extensive conversation. I'm gonna set up a three-way with Sabrina so that we can chat just a little bit more. And then in the midst of that as well, my alarm company came by just to check on my service here, where I reside.
Mm-hmm.
And I approached them as well. And come to find out, they sell solar. Like, oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I found out that my company bought out the Sun. Is it Sun? What was the name of that company? Sun?
Sunrun.
That, yeah, they went belly up.
Mm-hmm.
Vivid bought them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm learning so much by just exposing and just um more and more getting out of my comfort zone and talking to
Mm-hmm.
people, because it's basically what you need to do is just talk to people, and you'll get information. So anyway,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that that was a win, but me
It's a
stepping up.
win. It's a win because you got information.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. Sometimes the fear of loss is a bigger win than actually signing somebody up, because what happens is this: a lot of times we think we're the only people in business,
right.
and until somebody is in your backyard, until you realize, man, we're not the only people with a bright idea.
Mm-hmm.
You realize these people. How long do you think these other companies out there are going to hang around without getting a piece of this solar money? You
Mm-hmm.
know, I mean, these
Mm-hmm.
are intelligent people too. Remember, they made billions before you made your first million. So why wouldn't they expand their platform? Why wouldn't they expand their offerings, right?
Right.
And so whether it's a phone company, electric company, alarm company, all these companies, they gonna all become, they've all been becoming multi-sided platforms years ago. All right. And so again, that's just an eye-opening moment. That's a learning experience where, man, everybody's going to become a solar company. I need to make sure I get my name out there right away so they come
Exactly.
to me.
Well, I
Uh,
still hem
uh,
them up though.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah, there you go. And like I said, now you start tapping into them. And now, again, you just start figuring out who they know, and you
Right.
start getting those referrals, and you start drilling down. Right.
Exactly.
There you
So that
go.
was my
No.
win for the week. Just
Yeah.
getting out there.
There you go. And keep on getting out there. But that's how you learn, through the repetitions.
Hmm.
So I appreciate you sharing this morning. All right. April Nicole, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Bean and everybody from Washington, D.C.
Hey,
Thank you
hey.
so much for sending the invite for us all to be a part of your dynamic meetings and teams. I so love your every time you're on. I learn something new. So my wins are I'm new in the business, very excited. I from our corporate call last Saturday, joined the Realtor to Lead program. I was one of the first people to tell Stephanie I'm going to invest in this and do that. And then Mr. JC Rangel did a great training yesterday, so reached
Mm-hmm.
out to some realtors, got good collaboration from that. Also been doing affiliate partners from our dream team in the DC side. So I have like 100 affiliates now up under
Okay.
me. So hopefully to turn some of those into builders. But I'm learning so much coming from the corporate America space. Network marketing and all of this is new to me. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing about this company is so much training. It's something for everybody, and we set up for success. So my mindset has definitely been different in every area of my life since joining. On your call this past week, I was doing it from the gym. So when I say mind, body, and soul, Mr. Margell put a book for us to read that I've just totally changed my entire mindset of being a W-2 employee to a 1099 working for myself and going into business. So thank you, thank you, thank you for that. And for all the nuggets and growth. And that's my win. And then seeing us all win is a major win too. So thank you.
There you go. And you're welcome. And welcome to, again, any of the trainings that we're doing. I'm glad that you showed up this morning, and I'll be in your backyard, as you know, when it comes to being in the Maryland area in February on the 8th. And so look forward to connecting and meeting you in person and helping you, communicate with all your people what we have value-wise. So you do your job. You rope them, we'll brand them. All right. So get
Thank
them
you,
into
thank you.
get
Oh
'em in
yeah,
the
and in
seat.
reference to that, yeah, I did. I shared it in our groups. I told the DMV, let's pack this thing out. So perfect timing. So we're definitely coming to you with
Yeah.
bells and whistles on.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm man. Look, I'm even more excited. This got me fired up because those events, this tour, guys, and it's for everybody. Like Angel talked to Angel last night. Angel already has people who are guests coming to Colorado on the 25th of January. She already has people coming to the event in Maryland, in College Park, Maryland, on the 8th of February. And obviously, we have an event here in Houston that we're creating the information for on the 1st of February. And so so again, the one thing about her, she's going to invite for everything that we do. And I suggest you guys do the same thing. Again, it's about who you know and who knows somebody that's going to be in those areas, right? So if you're a person who's really good on social media, put yourself in a position where, let's just say, you have a big event, and now you got representation in all those places. If you are up the street, let's say you are 2 hours away from an event and you have a growing team, and let's say we're having a big event, and let's say we are having a big event in Maryland, and you're 2 hours away in another city, then whatever the name of that city is, say we're having a city event for that city, but we're having it in Maryland, and everybody just drives up to Maryland. I know I'm looking at Dale Boudreaux. He used to do that all the time. When he lived in Tulsa, we used to have Super Saturdays up in St. Louis. And Dale, I mean, at one point in time, they had 3 carloads of people, convoying up to St. Louis every time they had an event. And that's how he blew up, again, with the auto promoting. So make sure that, you put people in a position where they get a chance to hear information that they don't value coming from you. Your job is to make sure that you put butts in seats and get their ears where they can hear, get their derrieres in the chair, and that's where we go to work. So look forward to meeting you and look forward to serving you and your team in person. All right. Arlene, Dr.
Thing,
Arlene
can you share
Jordan.
the other ones too? The Colorado and the Houston one?
Yes, ma'am. As a matter of fact, the Houston one is going to be February the 1st. That banner is being prepared. It'll be done today. And the Colorado event is in Denver, Colorado. That's on the 25th of January. That one's in the WhatsApp group for the team. I put that one in the WhatsApp group along with the one for Maryland.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I have prospects in both areas, so perfect timing. Thank you.
There you go. All right, Dr. George.
Good morning, sir. I'm like Jeremy. I've got to get my double dose. You know how sometimes you got to get a double dose of the Holy Ghost? Well, I got to have my bean pie every Saturday morning. How's that?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we got to get Mrs. Bean on here as well. Hope I didn't offend anyone with the bean pie because I know from those of you from New York, you know where we get our bean pie in the corner. All right. So don't get
I
offended.
got you.
I got you. So I'm excited about this week because I did a launch for Audra, and Sarah and Audra and I had 10 guests on there. Audra actually got a bill and booked with Idris. Idris, again, I apologize. I did not expect the question of who's going to recycle this. And boy, did he drive that question home. But Idris was cool as can be, and he handled it, and he was patient because I would have said to him, you are blah, 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 how many years old? 50 years from now, you will not be recycling these panels.
Right.
But Idris handled that very professionally. We have a follow up on Monday with that one. Audra also got 4 affiliates as well from that event. And so we had a good turnout for her and for Sarah. Then also this week, Mrs. Bean got those flyers out, so consolidated where we're going to have the DMV event. So April, everyone plugging into that DMV event. We're going to make it such that there's only all the builders have to go out the door because the entire room is filled strictly with guests for mister Bean and Mrs. Bean as they come into town. So I'm excited about that as well.
All right.
Also this week, was able to start making phone calls for the 93 contacts that we have on from the Facebook campaign. Booked one from that. He didn't show, but still beginning to get some traction on that as well. Excited about that. And then on top of that, I've got to shout out Khadijah McKnight because Khadijah actually set up our DMV Facebook page, and it's called Elevate DMV Build Network.
Okay.
Connecting leaders to economic solutions for a sustainable tomorrow in DC, Maryland, Virginia, and Pennsylvania. We're going to add Delaware to that. We've got to add Delaware to that. So we also have that going as well. And then on top of that, I also was able to link up with a realtor in the local area through some of the information that I got from Khadijah, some of the information I got from Mr. B, some of the information I got from JC Wrangle. So I'm following up with them on next week to book an appointment to actually go into their office physically, which I'm excited about doing, and meet with them and talk, do a build presentation to them. So I'm excited about keeping the momentum going and continuing to grow. And I'm reading the book Building an Empire. I'm also reading the book that was suggested with Proverbs, and reading a Proverbs a day because I did that before and I'm doing it again now, and I'm reading the book simultaneously with it. So I am flat out excited.
Yeah, no, I can tell, and I think everybody else can too. That energy is infectious. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, no, we are getting ready to blast off, and again, when you look at, you know, I'm really just excited to see the evolution, and I know you've been plugging in everybody and everything because, like I said, you're using this, you're using that, and it's a good thing that you can take stuff from, what you're listening to and watching, and your brain is set to extract, what you need from it, and so that's always a beautiful thing. I love seeing people grow. I love seeing people process the information and apply the information and coming back, saying, "Hey, thank you," basically by using it. Because that's the thing, guys. Like it's there's nothing wrong with learning. It's something wrong with not applying what you learn. Yeah, and so information constipation is the thing. Like you sit there and yeah, you're learning it, but you're not, applying it. You're not teaching it. You're not using it. And so when you have people out here pouring their hearts out, waking up early in the morning, going to sleep late, preparing and stuff like that, the best way to say thank you is by using it. Period. Whether you get a win or not, by using it. And so yeah, he just is like the late great Stuart Scott used to say, is as cool as the other side of the pillow. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I don't handle questions like that well. I'm better at it. I'm better at it. I might just say next. I don't know. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, I don't know that. I don't know the answer to that question. But if that's gonna keep you from going solar, you need a bill. You just go ahead and pay your bill for the rest of your life. I'm sorry. It's just some people I just don't, I never met the person you're talking about, but at some point in time, it's just like, I just don't have mind. I just don't do mind games with mental midgets. I don't. People who want to show you how smart they are, they want to mind battle with you and stuff like that. I just, man, go pay your bill. Just go ahead and by in 20 years you'll be paying $5,000 a month for electricity, and you'll deserve to do that. So yeah, knock yourself out, my friend. Next, that type of thing. So that's the type of energy I'll be on. I'm sorry, it's not petty. It's just I'm sorry. So it's amazing how people want you to convince them to save their life. I'm not signing up for that. So, uh, late great Jim Rome. I'm quoting everybody this morning. All right, Del Bujo, and then we got Vic, and then we'll end with Miss Laura, and then we'll dive into this right into this training this morning.
Mr. Bean, first of all, congratulations on VP of Sales. My God, man, what an achievement! I can't express everything that goes through me when they announce that. Um,
Mm,
you've been talking to us about the 360-degree leadership, and if
mm,
people don't understand what that means, you need to go read the book because you
mm,
becoming VP of Sales is living 360-degree leadership.
mm,
And I tell you, it's an achievement, it's an accomplishment, and for our team to have the VP of Sales as our leader, it's just astonishing. Not in the fact that you got it, but just in the fact that you got it.
mm.
You know what I mean? So, I
All
want to
right.
say congratulations, and nobody deserves it or earned it more than you and your whole entire family. I mean, I have to say this because it's just pouring out of my heart when you got VP of sales, man. I mean, it's just, it's something you and I actually talked about 10 years ago. So, it's just amazing, man. I just, and feel with so much joy for you and Mrs. Bean and your entire family that I've been shouting this out all week. So I'm just letting you know. And oh, by the way, uh, when I told a person this week, they were okay. So the meeting set for the end of the month, and they're like,
Mm,
"Well, if I can get some time from the VP of sales and meet him, that would be great." So you know, it's already people don't, you know what I mean? It's already
Hey,
paying dividends, not
yeah,
indirectly. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I just I want to thank you for everything that you've done in the last 15 years
yeah,
to be a servant leader to get where you are because that's exactly what got you there, man, in my opinion. So, but
yeah.
this week, Mr. Navarra, how you and him interacted up on that being a mentorship call was amazing because there was some things like I said about figuring out if this is for you quickly because of transparency. Right. I thought that was very poignant because he's just being transparent about where the company's going and what we got. And he's like, hey, you need to figure this out quick because we moving. You know what I mean? And the other
Right.
thing was when somebody, is introduced to Build, let them have a feeling that, hey, I'm glad I stopped by at Build and take something with you, I
Yeah.
thought that was really a cool statement. And the other thing on Thursday night, you talked about people are looking for cash refunds, cash flow, new career, and collaborations.
Hmm.
So when you look at it from that perspective, I mean, that's just pure business, right?
Hmm.
And yeah, we do leadership, we do development, but at the bottom line, man, we are pure business, and so you got to hit at the heart of that. So that's my takeaways from the week. I appreciate the time, Mr. Bean, and thank you, sir.
No problem at all. And man, I appreciate you. And again, I thank you very much for the recognition. And so, it's like when you look at, one, the like you said, it's a whole lot of different things being a VP of sales for the company. But it's an expectation, not a reputation. And I look at reputation like I look at, a woman with great looks, and so they always say a woman with great looks, when she interviews for a job, it'll get you in the door, right? But you don't get the job until you open your mouth and they hear what comes out, right? And they you don't get the job until they see what the value actually is, what you bring to the table. You could be a beautiful woman working in the mailroom, or you can be a beautiful woman that deserves to be VP of sales, right? And so, but they're not going to just give you the VP of sales. And like I said, over the years, man, that 360-degree leader was what actually did it. And it's always going to be what actually does it. That is the one book. Again, I don't care. I've listened to everything about how to speak better, how to present better, how to lead better, how to recruit better. Yeah, all that stuff works for what it's used for. But when it comes to the 360-degree leader, it was the company that gave me, that appointed me in that position. It wasn't Jay-Z or Mr. Navarro. They just signed off on it. The company, my peers, my colleagues, on my cross line individuals, my senior, my success team members, everybody in the company, that I've served from day one, were the people who, said, hey, look, he needs to be the VP of sales, even though it was appointed by the owners. So that 360-degree leader book, guys, if you haven't got it, it's not for direct sales and network marketing, it's for leadership, period. If you ever want to be someone with immense influence in every project you ever work on, get the audio, get the book, get the workbook, and become that one book. And I would just tell you, it'd be hard for you to be broke in anything you do for the rest of your life. Yeah, you'll always have people coming to your aid. You always have people voting for you, fighting for you, supporting you and stuff like that. And that's because you are, in fact, the leader that leads cross line, that leads down line, and leads up line, right? When you are a 360-degree leader, and I'm gonna just say for those of you who have groups, um, have your groups read it, your leaders in your groups, that is. Let's have you start with them, your builders, right? And have conversations. If you want to have, like I said, some people have book clubs, some people have leadership calls, some people have moments, where they communicate. Some people have text groups where, hey, they people wake up and they text the chapter that they read and what they got out of it. Whatever it is, make sure you expose your people to it, because it's one thing to be able to influence the people who are in your group, your success team members, right? And it's a whole entirely different thing for you to be able to influence the people who are cross line from you. Okay, like when I look at Juan, Jose, uh, Juan, Roberto, Chris, Ed, Julio, Erjan, these people have no ties to me financially, right? And so when I'm working, with the company, and I'm assisting them and I'm presenting for them or I'm coaching for them, that's how you lead across, right? That's how you lead sideline, right? And so that's how you gain favor, right? That's how you go ahead and increase, your value to the company by making deposits in other people who you don't get paid for, and they know that you don't get paid for helping them, right? And so it's one thing to have a transactional thing. I'll help you, Idris, if you do some closings for me or whatever it is, that's transactional. But if me and Idris are on different teams and I help Idris, and without saying, hey man, I need something from you, and I don't call him for anything, but I continue to pour into him, he's going to vote for me, whether I ask him to or not. And it's just one of those things. It's an expectation, you know. Not necessarily that I'm doing it for that, but that's a byproduct of that. You ever hear the quote? Well, you know, um, you can't make a deposit if you make a deposit into the universe or your creator won't let you leave this place until your creator or the universe pays that debt back, right? And so they'll pay it forward and pay it back before you exit this place. So that's the spirit that you have. That's the spirit of understanding. That's why I say it's expectation, over reputation. Yeah, I know who I am as an individual carries weight, but that didn't get me anything. It was in here making money in a manner. It was in here building in a manner without a financial reward, without any financial, deposits in me, saying, hey, here's some upfront money, here's some guaranteed money, like most people in the industry always look for. None of that, man. I just see the vision of the company. I want to make sure we get there. Let me go ahead and invest without asking, and we'll work everything else out in the wash. Okay. So you be the leader, and that's when people will call you the leader. You calling yourself the leader, people won't call you at all. Yeah. If you got to call yourself a leader, that you may not be one. Okay. And so Mr. Navarro, again, he's one hell of a guy, really. And so when you talk about leadership, he's the epitome of leadership. People lead in different ways, right? But ever since I've been in this company, he's always made it known that there's no other place in this industry that he'd rather me be than here. And he showed me that he's lived up to his words. And so for me, I live up to mine. And so, but I appreciate that. Yeah, and it's like I said, tax season, bro. This is a whole new. This is the next holiday, tax season. It ain't Valentine's Day, so you got a lot of people out there who you either get with them right now before they go and spend that money that they're about to get from that tax return when they go rapid refund, or you get a chance to hear the excuse, man, I wish you would have called me a month ago. I just spent that money. I just got back on my tax refund. Y'all, all of y'all have heard that at some point in time in your life, right? If you've been in business. So when you go out there and how you say cast that net, go out there and you sow those seeds, you go out there and you hit the road. Again, people will remember before they actually spend that money and blow that money on them rims and on that beat, on that vacation, on that wardrobe, on their significant other, they'll give you a second thought and say, you know what? Ah, Galton had a deal he had me listen to, or Timothy had a deal he had me listen to. I need to double back before I blow his money because Bernice had a deal that she had me listen to, and I'm getting $4,000 back on this tax refund. It's only $200 right now. Let me go ahead and give them a call, right? And so that's it's tax season is a thing, guys. Make sure you understand that when people have money and it's burning a hole in their hand, they're looking to get rid of it. People have horrible philosophy when it comes to money. Get some of that money, so you can make sure you get an opportunity to help that individual. Don't just do it to get the money. Do it to get the opportunity to help them. All right. Let's see here. Solvic.
Good morning, guys. Hey, Mr. Bean, how you doing, sir? I want to thank you for the platform, sir. Appreciate it. Just been can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just want to make sure you can hear me. Just want to
I was
start.
screaming at my wife. She was asking me if I wanted some coffee. Yes, please give me
Of
some.
course you want. Of course you want coffee. We always want coffee. Um,
Yeah.
but two things, sir. Three things happened this week that I've been reflecting on, and it just gives you a this is a very, very pinnacle time in our opportunity. And I just want to first welcome Mr. Ballard to the line for the first, second time, I believe, the Millionaire Mentorship Call. Um, he is out of Massachusetts, and I'm just really happy to see him plugging in. It has today, seeing him come online really kind of let me know that that my my experience and my passion's not falling on deaf ears. Sometimes people might incubate, but they still understand and recognize the opportunity. But eventually, some of them catch on fire, and that's what I'm just want to welcome Christopher to the line.
Yeah.
Um, and number two, I had a win with a fabricator. He does like very luxurious hotel lobbies and casinos, and he's been in business for quite a long time. And met him at the Capitol Grill. Come sit down. Right here. I met him at the outing at a friend of mine. I was going to go visit a friend of mine who's a head bartender at this really nice place, and just having a conversation. And met someone. We struck it up. We had a rapport. You know, I left out of there with phone number. Hey, the holidays were coming. We said we would reconnect. We made an appointment. I met with him and his son last night before last, and they're ready to rock and roll. They're coming in, builder packed, and we're gonna keep it moving. And the timing couldn't be perfect. So and one more thing, guys, collecting these bills, I got 3 bills in 2 days. I'm about to put them in the system now. Dennis is like my guy. I'm working with a couple other mentors now, trying to put some things in play. I'm trying to fit the right customer with the right mentor. I can't always figure that out right away, but the experience is going to give you that. But I don't know if it's because I've been in sales for a while that if me getting the bill now, it just seems like it's so effortless, guys. These are complete strangers. I do Lyft in between appointments and running errands, and I've gotten two bills from a Lyft customer between a 30-minute transportation ride. I've gotten the bill. And it's like, this is too easy. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, either I'm really starting to catch this thing or it's just and that's what I've realized is just the years of experience learning to listen to what the customer or prospect is telling you. And you know, when I just drop a little pebble in the pond and I get a little ripple effect, that thing continues to grow because they're feeling the pain of the economic Scrooge. So the next thing we're talking about solar. How did we get there? Because I dropped that little pebble in there. And the next thing you know, the customer's like, it was really nice meeting you. And I looked it up. I emailed it to you. I'm like, okay, let me check. And there's the bill. I just met this person. So it's pretty cool. Um,
Yeah.
Closed mouth doesn't get fed, guys. I'm having a lot of fun. And thank you so much, Mr. Bean, for the platform. I really appreciate everything you're doing, man.
Yeah, and I appreciate who you're becoming. At the same time, remember, everybody is a human becoming. It's one thing to be a human being, but evolution is evolution. Evolution is what it is. And I've seen your growth. I've seen the difference in how you edify. I've seen the difference in I've seen the humility. I've seen you trust more. I've seen you open up more. I've seen you do more three ways and lifelines than you ever have in the past in any of the endeavor that's whatever we've done. But it's kind of like you being a hairstylist. Yeah, when you ask a person what they want, you don't give a person, a woman's coming in there, she just needs a little taper. You don't give her a bald fade. You give her what she asks for, and that's the thing. You pay attention to what she says, and then you're gonna give her exactly what she asked for. She's gonna walk out as a satisfied customer. And she's gonna do return business and give you referral business as well. It's expectation and belief though. It's not easy. It's only easy when you believe that everybody deserves solar. It's a benefit to everybody, and you expect everybody to get the message based on you delivering it. With from a perspective of help. You've been a true service to them. Like I said, the years of experience is great. It's a lot of people around here got a lot of years of experience in sales, but they have no bills. Right. And so again, you literally, or going to place like you're creating opportunities. You believe that this is an opportunity for people. Like you did a training last week for Home Depot. People don't even look at Home Depot the same. Like every Home Depot in my neighborhood. Like when I pass by a Home Depot, I think of Solar Vic. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I gotta go back over there. And so, but again, it's expectations, your belief. You believe that anything that you say based on the training that you got, based on the thing, the way you're plugging in, based on the resources, based on the value. You believe that everybody is crazy if they don't join you, but you don't treat them that way. Again,
Right.
you treat them as a professional, you talk to them as a professional, and you're doing them a service. And so, that's when everything really hits different, is when you personally believe that like, it's almost saying that it's exactly saying that instead of you being in build is in you. Instead of you being in encore is in you. And now everything that you do, you believe in. Everything you say, you believe in. And now people believe you. So, and they believe in you. So great job, bro. Great job.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, and yep, welcome back, Mr. Ballard, and hope to continue to see you come through here, man. We got some good things for you as well, so glad to have you. And so, yeah, that's fine. And so let's see here, Miss Johnson.
Great
Johnson,
morning, family.
Laura
Um,
from the block.
yeah, Laura from the boogie down Bronx, now in South Kakalaki. I'm
That's
gonna
what I'm
take over
talking
both. Well, I'm gonna take my time, but not too much time this morning, Mr. Bean, because I really want people to hear me. You know, I always thank you for the system that you have created. And sometimes when people hear that gratitude over and over and over again, they're like, it's falling on deaf ears, but they don't truly understand that what we have here, that you and Mrs. Bean have created, is priceless. All we have to do is follow the structure that we've been given, and we will get success. So, first of all, thank you and Mrs. Bean for that immensely. And I just want to speak about consistency and persistence. Consistency and persistence. You see, you have taught us that, the work that we're doing today will yield us a harvest or results, perhaps even 60 to 90 days from now. And so sometimes we get frustrated because what I do today, Saturday, the 11th, I don't see on Saturday the 11th. So it makes me not work so hard on the 12th. But you have to understand that it is going to pop for you if you continue to be consistent. I have two quotes that I that I have in front of me on my wall, in front of this computer. And one of them says, success in anything will always come down to focus and effort. And we can control both. And we must control both. We must focus and we must put in the effort. Like Mr. Bean just said, we got to do the work. And it also depends on our belief, because if we don't believe, we won't work. I believe 1 million plus one. No, infinity plus one. That's how much I believe. So I do the work. It doesn't matter anything. No matter what obstacle, no matter what challenge, I'm going to do the work. Sometimes I don't do it fast enough, but I'm going to do the work. Sometimes, there's things that's going to happen, but I'm going to do the work. And you're going to get the results when you do the work. And so, like Mr. Bean's promotion to VP of sales, I have this other quote. It says, success isn't always about greatness, although we know Mr. Bean is the greatest, right? And he's the GOAT. It's about consistency. Consistent hard work gains success. So there it is again, consistency and hard work. Greatness will come. So I look at those two quotes all the time, and it reminds me to giddy up, giddy up. So because of that, and because of me doing what I do, these are my wins that happened this week. Okay, I got one new builder who came in at 199, and I was in my back office for another reason, and I looked, and where it says your new customers, and there he was. Bam! I was like, what? But the thing about it was, this guy has been an affiliate since May of 2024. And I've been dripping on him, dripping on him, dripping on him, dripping on him. And he said, yeah, I'm coming, Miss Johnson. I'm coming, Miss Johnson. And the new year, I said in my mind, I'm leaving that sucker alone, man. I'm tired of him, and I'm gonna.
Right.
And then I looked in my back office, and there he was. That's one new builder this week.
Yeah.
3 team members this week. 3 team members this week had a first. Miss Leslie Johnson had her first water sale.
There you go.
Consistent and persistent. Okay. Miss Tanya Sarmiento, both builders out of Florence. Tanya already has her own solar system, had her first session with Idris.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and she has 2 more bills, I believe, maybe 3. And then one of my second generation builders had her first 3-way call with me, with a lady that is definitely going to be a builder. So, now it's not only me, but the team also has started getting the results of their consistent and persistent work. And that's what it's all about. It's like the slow flow of lava, but lava is a powerful force. So, and finally, Mr. Bean, I'll see you, God willing, on February 8th in the DMV with guests.
You know what? And I don't doubt that. Every time I came to Atlanta, you always had a group coming from Carolina all the way to Atlanta, even from your team that was in Florida to Atlanta, see me. So I don't doubt that one bit whatsoever. And so and I appreciate that. I'm glad you took your time, and I'm glad you set us up for the training because everything you said is true. It's you got to think about it, guys. It's the people who make the most money. Yeah, like the people who make the most money in roofing, they're not the best roofers, right? It's the people who are the hardest workers, the people who are the most consistent, the people who get better, but don't necessarily get the best. The people who are the best, a lot of those people are a victim of their own greatness. Like they know how talented they are, so they don't put in the work, that the other people have to put in to catch up to the best, right? And so it's like you know, you are actually forcing the field to come to you. People are scared that you're gonna suck up all the money, all the roof jobs, all the electrician jobs, all the plumbing jobs, because you're the best. They see your branding, they see your marketing, they see your numbers, they see you, and all of a sudden, you got these people out here investing in themselves, investing in their companies, and they getting better and investing in their teams, and all of a sudden, they run past you because they're scared of the best. They have a fear of loss, right? And so if you're just willing to do the work, it's not about because some of y'all look at Builder 8,000, or you look at Exec 15 or Exec 100, like, man, that's a lot of numbers. And you know you're looking at it like that, but the person who hits those positions, guess what? They're not going to be the best presenters. They'll be presenting, right? They won't be the best speakers. They will be speaking. They won't be the best prospectors, but they will be prospecting, and they're going to do that because they know for a fact that if I do X amount of work every day, and then X amount of work every week, specific work and specific things, I'll get a specific result, and they're doing it by the numbers, right? Millionaires. It's a becoming a millionaire for dummies. It's like they're reading a book that says, when you say paint by numbers, it's building business by numbers. If I do four, showcases a week, and I have five guests in each showcase, I can actually hit this. It didn't say if I was the best presenter, right? If I was just willing to do the work, the question is, are you willing to do what's required so you can have what's desired? Okay. I know that there are going to be solar companies out there that are solar experts. And if you ask Idris, is he far greater, than me when it comes to solar? He's going to say, yeah. And he's supposed to. He's the expert. But at some point in time, I'm going to have more solar deals than Idris. Not because I'm better than Idris, just because I understand numbers, and I'm willing to go out here and talk to as many people as I can to have as many solar deals done in my organization that I can, so I can have more solar deals than anybody in the company. Right? I'm gonna go talk to more roofers. I'm going to talk to more landscapers. I'm gonna go talk to more plumbers. I'm going to go and create more collaborations than anybody out there, because every collaboration that I make comes with 1,000 customers. Every landscaper has 1,000 customers they can serve. Every plumber has 1,000 customers they can serve. Mr. Ballard has 5,000, 10,000 customers he's served over his tenure, right? I saw B Ken on there a minute ago, out of Oklahoma. I think he's out of Oklahoma, right? He's got thousands of people in Oklahoma when it comes to roofing that he served, and so those collaborations, when I bring collaborations on, now I'm gaining access to that individual's a database of people who they served in the past, and I just got to make sure that they know we have a quality service, and that people are truly getting paid for it. And so I don't have to work as hard. I'm just doing the work that's required. You know how much work you got to do to keep up with me if you're just selling, right? But you are the best at selling. Everybody you can have 100% close ratio, right? You can close 10 deals a week. That's 40 deals a month, right? Depending on you, that might be 200 grand a month. But at some point in time, my group, right? Because remember, the company's if a company's submitting 100 deals a month, right? I am going to have a moment where my group is going to be submitting 100 deals a month. And you should be expecting. Remember, this is about expectations. Every woman in here that has a child knows exactly what I'm talking about. When they say you have a cycle, you're going through that 9 month, that when you're expecting a baby, from the time you figure out that you're pregnant, right, to the time that you give birth, you expecting to have a baby. I'm expecting to make millions. I'm expecting to have, I'm expecting to have hundreds of roofers in my business. I'm expecting to have 100. I'm gonna have hundreds of people who are realtors and brokers in my business. I'm expecting to have hundreds, of electricians in my business. I'm expecting that I'm in the mindset and season of expectation. I just got to go do my part first. Okay. I will give birth to $250,000 a month at exec 250. I will give birth to $270,000 of overrides on sold overrides per month. Right? I will give birth to $175,000 of ripple overrides. I will give birth to $175,000 rather in water overrides, $125,000 a month in ripple overrides. Right? I'm in a season of expectation. That's why I did the work. I did the thing without having to see the result. Right? Like the people who you're going up against, guys, remember your competition, they have a microwave mentality. And I'm talking about the masses. This is why it's so easy for you to win, because the masses is not willing to do the work. They're going to do the thing one time and see if they get the result that time. If you just go out there and do the thing, over and over and over again, whatever the thing is, prospecting, selling, whatever it is, at some point in time, you go through those numbers, it becomes easy. You fall in love with it and you evolve with it and you become great at it, passionate about it. And you start winning and you start getting bills every time you open your mouth like Vic, right? And you start getting closes every time you do. You expect a close every time you do, a presentation, like Idris, right? You get a water sale every time you do a three-way or a presentation like Mrs. Bean when it comes to water sales. So you are going to be, tested, this year. Regardless, I don't need to know right now. I have zero idea what you expect for 2025, but by the end of it, I'll know what you expected in the beginning of it based on what shows up. If you have nothing to show for 2025, by the end of this year's over, I know you expected nothing. Right? Period. What you expect shows up, right? 100% of the time. It's kind of like an X-ray, but it takes that X-ray, 90 days, to actually show up. It's like a net 90. You're working right now, and for those of you who've been in the business for, let's say, 3 months, you got paid today based off what you expected 90 days ago. You made an appointment to be here, and the sales that you have and the sales that you don't, you have those numbers based off of how you conditioned yourself 90 days ago. 90 days from now, we'll know what you were expecting today. Net 90. Just do the thing, do the work, and don't worry about the result. Get better at every transaction, learn from every transaction, and in 90 days, we'll see how much better you are than you were 90 days ago. How much better are your results than, today than they were 90 days ago. And that's why you should be tracking, your every day in your calendar, what your numbers are, how your numbers are growing. Like I talk to everybody, and everybody should do this. If you have one person in your group, you should make sure that every month that one member subscription runs, because you'll have people whose subscriptions, like I said, the second month it may not run based on the banking situation. And so if you see your numbers go backwards or something, it's because the banks need to be advised that it's okay to run that subscription right now. And so it's auditing your accounts. So it's not just getting better on bringing accounts to the books. It's also, getting better at managing them and maintaining them and servicing those accounts. Okay. And if a person's been off a subscription for 2 months, that means that they've been unplugged from the system for 2 months. Again, that's an indicator of where that individual is, as somebody who's plugged into your system. And it's also an indicator of where you are as a leader who is mismanaging your books. Stay on top of your business. All right. And so what I want to do right now, though, is, today, I guess you saw the flyer and you saw the topics of discussion today. And, I wanted to warm you guys up a little bit. And, since we are already talking about real estate, this week, I wanted to make sure you guys get a whole entirely different perspective, when it comes to dealing with realtors, dealing with brokers. And, I want you guys to hear it, from somebody who, and this company is growing up. And when I say blowing up fast, and growing up right before your very eyes, went from a solar guy to a business guy, right? And so, he's always in close counsel. He's always, communicate with me, always getting questions answered, and I just love doing business with people like that, right? And so, today, I have, Chris McHenry from the great state of California, to come on and give you guys some of his expertise when it comes to the real estate game, and how to communicate with realtors, because he's been doing that since day one, since I got here in the company. And, I wanted him to kind of share with you guys, some of the things that he does. And so, Chris, I'll go ahead and yield the floor to you, but welcome to the call, bro. I appreciate you, coming in to share, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Also appreciate all the help you've been to me and my journey here at Build. Nonstop calling from me, questions, answers, strategizing, and like I say, well-deserved promotion to VP of Sales, helping everybody in the company, even when they're not on your team. So congratulations, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to present to our team today, because we're all a family, and we'd all like to share nuggets. So let me get started. So let me share my screen. Let me know when you all can see my screen. And this is going to be
You good? We got
a different view. So some of the slides you will be familiar with, but you'll be familiar with the way they look, not the information on them, because the way I approach my conversations with realtors is a little different than everyone else. Some of you may have adapted to this based on my conversations with you, but it's what we're going to talk about is networking with real estate professionals. Now, a couple of things you'll know right off the bat is, how many times are we calling real estate agents and pitching our product first and saying, hey, do you have a solar professional in your group? Hey, do you have this? How do you have this? How many times are you asking them about themselves? Think about that, because we all post in our WhatsApp group. We post and say, hey, I called 15 realtors, I called 20 realtors, and 5 of them were excited about our opportunity. But how many of those realtors did you actually ask about them? How long have you been an agent? What are you struggling with this year or this last year? What does a successful partnership look like at your organization? Did you hit your goals last year? And I can probably tell you that, and this is nothing bad, I'm not calling anybody out, but I can probably say 0 out of 0 have probably asked those questions to real estate agents when they call them. And we learn from our failures or mistakes. So this is an opportunity to change. So if you're not doing that, the reason why we're talking this morning is so that you can implement different strategies. Everybody that I've talked to that have been a leader at a company, if they made more money than me, if they've done something faster than me, if they built a team faster than me, then who am I to turn my head and say, I don't like what they're talking about? And that's really every network marketer, because I have no background in network marketing. So that means everybody that is in network marketing can give me information. Everybody, because I knew nothing about network marketing. I had a 20-year, I still have going because I'm not done. But I've been 20 years in sales, corporate America. I've sold cell phones, I've sold GPS tracking devices, I've sold software, I've sold solar. None of those have to do with network marketing. So when I came to Build, I had to reset. I had to reset how I thought, because I didn't know how to do, I didn't do 3-way calls. I didn't do Super Saturdays. I didn't do any of the things that we're doing now. But I adapted and I said, okay, let's add some of the things that I've done in my career, because in my career, I was taught discipline. I was taught how to use a CRM. I was taught processes. I was taught strategy, working from the top down. Those things I knew. So now all I had to do was mix that into network marketing. So whenever you're talking to someone and you're doing a discovery call with a business, what do you think the business owner likes to do the most? Talk about their business, because it's their baby. So when you're talking to a real estate agent, adapt that same strategy. How many houses did you sell last month? How many listings do you have? How many open houses do you have going on? And you're gathering this information to continue to take notes before you pitch anything, before you talk about anything regarding about build or an opportunity. Learn about them, because that's going to give you ammunition to then talk and hit those points. Mr. Bean has said this on several trainings. JC has said this on several trainings. Learn about your prospect so then you can implement your product or what you're selling to cater to them. So why haven't we done this with real estate agents? Well, because we feel the perfect partner as a real estate agent, so it should be easy to get them, right? Because that's what we talk about all the time. Real estate agent, they're selling homes, they're dealing with our customers that we want, so they're the perfect partner. So we immediately assume that they believe we're the perfect partner. That's not the case. We have to make sure, because every real estate agent is not going to be a fit for our product in our organization. And if you bring somebody in that has that negative connotation of solar, you're going to be spending a lot of time convincing them that this is an opportunity for them, when there's somebody right behind them that will see the vision immediately. But you have to understand, you have to talk and learn that. Now, how many of you, by putting a 1 in the chat, know about Google Alerts? So put a 1 in the chat if you know about Google Alerts. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't know about Google Alerts. See a lot of 2s coming in. You know what that means? That means I'm dropping some gems today, because you guys don't know this. All right, Idris, okay. I knew somebody would know it. Okay. Now, how many are you using it? You know about it, but how many are using it? Now, for the people that don't know what that is, I'm going to explain it. So Google Alerts, every morning in my inbox, I get tons of emails from Google Alerts about whatever product that I want to know about. So that could be software, that could be network marketing, that could be realtors, that could be loans, that could be cars, anything I have a hobby for or I want to learn about to make myself smarter and educated more, it'll pop up in my inbox. Now you'll see this image over here to the right. I went in and I added realtors. And I didn't do, this has been going on, but I did this as a screenshot so you know, and I'll show everyone how to do it on their own, so that you can set this up if you want to.
Chris, the slides are moving.
I'm sorry, say it again.
The slides are not moving.
So what slide do you see right now?
The first one.
Oh, it's not moving at all?
No, sir.
Okay, hold on. Let me stop and share again. Okay. What slide do you all see now?
Google.
Okay, so you see the Google alert screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So what this does is all the information that comes in the news on a daily basis goes into Google search engine, and you can set up an alerts to receive these notifications in your inbox. So if I want to know anything about realtors, I can type in realtors as a keyword, and then that morning I'll get 5, 10, 15 emails about things that are happening in the realtors world based on my keyword. So here you'll see Palisades Realtor who lost home in Los Angeles, wildfire reacts to destruction. We all know that there's fires happening here in California. So that could be a talk track. Or Las Vegas Realtor apologizes for dramatic start. So these are all news articles that you can go in and read and educate yourself And if something has recently happened in the realtor world, like last year, they had their lawsuit about how their commissions were changing. So this was popping up. So I read about this. So whenever I talked to a realtor, when I was talking to them, I would ask them like, hey, how are you going to adjust next year now that your commission structure has changed? How does that affect you? Because some people, they had a positive reflect on it. They said, oh, I'm going to do this now. And I was already doing this anyway, so it doesn't really affect me that much. But then there are also some realtors that said, man, I don't know how I'm going to recover from this. I'm going to have to figure out now I'm going to have to do loans and sell homes and I'm going to have to do this. So then those are good things to take down notes. And then you introduce your opportunity. Well, I've been talking to a lot of realtors and, some have been 50-50, but the ones that have been on the side of they don't know what they're going to do, I talk to them about the thing that I'm doing because I help a lot of realtors in our partnership, and this might be a fit for you. I don't know if it is or not. You do the pull away. I don't know if this might work for you or not, but it's something that I can introduce to you because you just said that next year might be a devastating year for you financially. So let's see if I can help you out with the opportunity that I have. Now I'm going to go to the next slide. Hopefully it changes. Did it change? Okay, perfect. Now, I was moving too fast. Okay, here we go. So find local events on social media. So a lot of the things that all of us know already, we know already. We're just not changing the vertical and how we're adapting to it. Because I know Angel did a training a couple of weeks ago on how to find networking events. Now, when you all think I'm not listening, I'm always listening. So I'm always taking little nuggets. Even though I may not be on a call and I'm not there, I'm always listening. I'm omnipresent. I'm always watching stuff. So you have to find networking events. Miss Dr. Arlene, she said she talked to a real estate agent and she's going to next week or the week after, she's going to meet them in person. Why do you have to make a phone call and talk to them over the phone? Go have coffee with them. Go meet with them in person. People are forgetting that we all used to meet in person. You forget that element. And Dr. Arlene, why are you only going to see one? Go see two, go see three. Now, I know she has a busy schedule. I'm not calling you out, but that's what we need to do. Figure out, okay, if I can do one, I can probably knock out three that week. When you're driving neighborhood, you see open houses. Slow down, take a picture of that open house because there's a little sign that says open house this way or that way. All the time. We just have to open our mind. We have to look and see. There's clues all around us. If we want to target realtors, you have to find the clues. These are clues all around us. Find networking mixers. Connect with a local realtor and ask, hey, why don't we do a homeowners workshop together? Because then you can come in and talk to homeowners in the area. I can talk to homeowners about my home services, and let's see how many we can invite together. Search online for green certified realtors. That's another training that Mr. Rangel did on finding realtors that are certified and they understand solar, they understand the process. So those are great people to talk to as well. Now, here's another one. How to meet realtors. Post on Facebook. Who knows a good local realtor? Search on Meetup. Realtors, right? Meetup is another networking platform you can search for. You can even create a group in Meetup and start attracting people. Ask your friends. Some of us are best. One of my best friends is a realtor. My best man at my wedding, he's a realtor. He's a realtor. He's a loan officer. He's a general contractor. This guy does everything. So whenever I am curious about what's going on in the industry, I call him. I say, "Hey, man, how are you adjusting to this next year?" He's like, "You know what, man? I got so much stuff going on. If that revenue stream goes away, then it goes away because I got other stuff going on." And some realtors are like that. Search EXP. I know we have a bunch of EXP realtors in our organization already. How many have you reached out to in the organization? I know Tim is an EXP. I know Rod is an EXP. I know several other EXP realtors that I talked to them. Have you talked to them? Why not? They joined our organization, so you can ask them, what made you join our organization? I'm going after people just like you. So what made you sign the 199 to get going? Because I need to know, because I'm going to be targeting more people like you. Right? And I've helped them, they will help me. We are a huge family. There's enough people in this organization to go out and target the masses with the same approach. And why do we want to have the same approach? Why do we want to be on the same accord? Because now whenever a homeowner talks to one of our consultants, they want to leave that conversation. If they didn't buy from us, they're going to say, you know what? Idris gave me so much education on solar. Even if I don't go with him, they're going to talk to somebody else. Don't get it twisted. They're going to talk to 2 other people after you. And when they talk to those 2 other people after you, they're going to say, you know what? I didn't get half as much information from the other people than I did from Idris. So our number one job is education, educating the homeowner. And our number one job when we're getting builders is educating the builders. Why? Well, selfishly, for me, is because when you say no to me, I want you to think about the foolish mistake you're making. When it comes to energy, you're going to continue to pay monthly more, yearly more. When it comes to the business, I want you to partner with me, but if you don't want to partner with me, then I don't want to partner with you. It's that simple. It's a DJ Quick song, in case you guys know. I don't want to party with you. I'll throw nuggets in here or there. You might go back and research and you can find it. Now, then what? Connect with them locally. Coffee. Go have breakfast with them. Schedule lunch and learns. Do you think if you go buy 2 dozen donuts or 1 dozen donut or some pastries and coffee from Starbucks or Panera Bread that it will pay off? It's going to pay off. One deal will pay off. You buy 30 realtors in an office, coffee and pastries, that's maybe what, $150, maybe $200. If they refer you one deal, that's $7,000. Come on. We got to see more lunch and learns. We have to see more conversations in person with people. Stop at your local offices. Dr. Arlene, when you go talk to your realtor in face to face, ask them, when is your next lunch and learn? Because I want to present at your next lunch and learn. Okay, where's your other office? Because you have an office here. Is there another local office that you're attached to? And the reason why you're going to do this is because, Mr. Bean, if you join my organization, I'm going to put you in a position so that every other realtor that comes in is going to be under you. So help me grow this. People are greedy. They want it. So you put them in a position. Yeah. Oh, well, okay. I know 10 other realtors. Yeah. Okay. Then set me up with them. Let's set up a call. Let's talk to them. You see the vision, right? Okay. So then push your vision onto them. I have an EXP realtor in New Jersey. His name is Ryan. He joined the organization. We've done a one-on-one with Mr. Navarro, and his sponsor at EXP is in California. And he has about 230 realtors in his organization. He's a motivational speaker. And Ryan came in, his immediate question was, I want to learn this so that I can talk and give 2 intelligent sentences to my sponsor to get him on a call with you guys. And we got on a call with him. His sponsor said, this makes total sense. He's like, I just got to figure out how to weave this into my organization. He's like, I'm signing up. He's like, just give me a couple months because I'm working some things. And he's like, once I start weaving this in, because I don't want to distract my realtors too much in the beginning of the year, and we'll sign them up. He's like, we'll get them going. And that's how many. Everybody is a part of a brokerage. So when people at these organizations, when we're explaining you're a part of a brokerage, you are rolling up to someone in your organization right now. So you spin that. How would you like it if your broker owner was rolling up to you? Because every real estate transaction you're doing is rolling up to Mr. Bean. How would you like it if Mr. Bean's was rolling up to you? Day one. Is their answer going to be no? No, it's not. It's going to be like, okay, how do we do that? How do we figure that out? Because I know how much money I'm making, Mr. Bean. How do I start having him and his team make me money? And then find them on social media, like, comment, share their posts. Let them know you're an advocate for them. We say this all the time on our conversations. Put other people first and you'll get rewarded. So why are we not doing that with real estate agents? We know the target customer that they want. The least you can do is refer them somebody, even if they don't match. It's an effort that you've shown. Hey, Laura, I met this person. They just moved here locally. They're renting. I don't know if they'll be a good fit for you, but I'm going to introduce you to them and see what happens. Or you comment on their post. Hey, if you're looking for a good realtor, yep, Victor is a guy. Like, love, share. How much time and effort does that do? To click a like, comment, and share. It takes less than a minute. And another thing that I want to add, why aren't we doing that with each other's post? It takes very little time. So if you see somebody's post that's on Build and you follow them on social media, like their posts, share their posts, comment on it. It takes less than a minute to do that. And then that gives them more credibility on their post. Now, we have talked about all of this, but you might say, well, Chris, all this is great. It's all dandy, but I need to know what you say to these people. So if you haven't gathered that yet, I put some scripts together. So here's a script. There's two scripts I'm going to go over. One is going to be talking about an opportunity, but kind of pulling it back a little bit. So you'll see there's a difference in both of them. You can use either one, but don't try and memorize these scripts. Put them into your own words. Whenever we have scripts, the goal is to give you a guide. So you read it, understand it, and there's key things in each part that you're going to want to say. But you don't want to try and memorize it because then you'll be stumbling over words. So let's go through this. Hi, James. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to take a moment to discuss an opportunity that could mutually benefit both of us. As you know, building relationships with clients is key in real estate. You've already established a solid base with clients you sell houses to, and I was wondering how you might be able to monetize your existing database. I believe there's a great potential to offer additional services or products to your clients. For instance, I specialize in solar, water, home security, and I think some of these things could complement the work you've done with them. Can I send you some information to review? Maybe chat next week over coffee. They're going to say no. No, because I'm asking them to go back to their existing database they've sold homes to, and that there might be an opportunity to talk to them about solar, water, or home security. Now, home security is probably done. You've lost that boat. That ship has sailed because they've already moved in. But there's still an opportunity for solar and water. Now, the other script, let's talk about that one. Hi, Samantha. Have you considered how you can leverage your existing clients' relationship to generate additional income? What types of services do you think your clients will find valuable after purchasing a home? By referring your past clients to me, not only can you provide them with valuable resources, but you can also benefit from referral fees or commissions structures that we have set up. I'd love to explore how we can collaborate effectively. Are you open to discussing further? Perhaps we can set up a time to chat about the details and brainstorm some ideas together. I look forward to your thoughts. Now, in all of this, you can take away none of it, or take away one piece of information, or take away a lot of information. What I say you should definitely take away is asking people about their business first before you throw up all of what Bill does on them. Start a conversation about what they're doing, their goals. Our game plan interview, when we have a new builder comes in, what do we do in our game plan interview? We ask our new builder what their goals are, right? So if you guys aren't doing that, then that means you're not doing game plan interviews. This is a year of structure. We have to follow the system that is designed and built for us for success. And you can't do that. You can't miss these steps that have been put into place from successful leaders, and then in 6 months have your head down and say, like, I don't know, man, this thing is not for me, because you haven't been doing the process on a daily basis. When my builder signs up, they get an email from me with 12 things that they got to do, 12 steps. One of those steps, it has a Calendly link that says schedule a game plan interview with me. If they call or text me before they've done that, my answer is, hey, have you scheduled a game plan interview? Because we're going to talk about that during that. So schedule that before we get going. Don't waste my time until we've sat down and I can understand your goals. And if I text you, you don't respond. I had a conversation with my builder yesterday. I said, hey, did you join the door-to-door correlation? Because when we talked, you said you want to knock on doors. Oh, no, I didn't know we had to do that. Well, I text you at 10 a.m. The door-to-door was at 12. So we had 2 hours to respond. Okay, that's one step. Let's reset. Let's forget that happened. You get one reset, and then it's like, hey, I'm not dealing with you anymore. Because that means you're not taking it seriously. If you can't follow the 12 steps that I've given you, you're not following it. I don't have time to waste this year. This year, I don't have time to waste. You're going to hear that a lot. So when you call me, you ask me questions, Mr. Bean has given me, he has referred 2 or 3 people to me to have conversations with. They were all over the place when I talked to them. I simplified their process. I said, look, that's not the way you should be doing it. And some people don't like hearing no. I said, okay, that's fine. But I'm telling you this because I know that that's not going to be a successful way to go. You need to be doing it this way. Simplify the process. I said that several times. At the end of the conversation, they're like, you know what? That's right. We just need to make it simple. All of these other ideas that you have going on, they could be great ideas until you understand our business model. When you understand our business model internally, then you can understand why those things don't make sense. Don't overcomplicate things. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, what you should be leaving this training going home with or going out in the field with is when you have conversations, you ask people questions before you start throwing up your opportunity on them. If it's a real estate agent, if they're a contractor, if they're a plumber, all of these things apply. I've given you a script and a map to apply to whoever you want. You don't have to apply to realtors if you don't want to. You can apply it to a construction company. Let's say you're Vic and you're at Home Depot. I'm pretty sure Vic has a conversation with these contractors and asking them, like, oh, what job what are you doing? Are you doing some plumbing work today? Are you doing this today? Are you doing that today? So he's probably already doing the process that I've described. He just doesn't know he's doing it. So now when you know there's a process to do, when you know you got to do something, when you know you got to write your name on the top, but to get credit for the test, you're going to write your name on the top to get credit for the test. So when you start your conversation out every time, think of how am I going to help this person that I'm talking to? And the only way I can help them is if I understand what they need help with. And that's asking questions. Mm-hmm. So that's my time, Mr. Bean. Thank you for letting me have the stage. And if anyone wants to ask any questions, you're definitely welcome to.
Yep, guys, we do have a moment. If you have any questions about what you just heard, by all means, go ahead and get those questions in. But while y'all formulate those questions, definitely want to say great job, bro. Great information. Love the delivery. Love how you package it and put it together. Very professional, and again, very on purpose. And so, but I also that's what we expected. So, any questions before we move forward, guys, to the next part?
Mr. McHenry, this is Tim Neal here.
Hey, Tim. Puerto Rico, the building.
Yes, sir. Hey, I wanted to know, on that script you did, was that a script that you say verbally and also that you mail out, that you send out, or how do you deliver it both ways?
I usually do it. I usually do phone calls. I'm a phone call person. So I whenever I block out time, like I'll block out an hour or two to just call, and I usually do that over the phone. I mean, after I do that, I'll send a text and say like, "Hey, great speaking with you." But most of the text to me, and this is just my opinion, is people don't really look at text. They don't recognize numbers. So if they don't know my number, like I've sent texts out that I thought were I thought it was an immaculate a one opener, and I called that person. They were like, "Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't know the number." So I'm like, okay, yeah, that's true. Because when I see numbers, I don't know. I don't really pay attention to them. So I call because realtors typically will answer their phone first, then respond to a text that they don't know. Because there's an enormous amount of text messages that go out right now, just in general, that are random spam text messages. So I don't want to lump myself into that. So when I'll call, I'll do all this on the phone, and then I'll say, hey, lock my number in as Chris Solar. I'm gonna send you a text, just so you have my information. And then when they search in their phone, they can just type in Solar, and then boom, it pops up.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Yep, no problem.
Great question. Great question. I hate those text messages, by the way. As soon as I see a text message that says hi, I go to auto block automatically. I just like I can't stand it. Spam, I can't stand it. Any other questions? And that's a good thing. He said something. I don't know if you guys caught it, but he said he blocks out time to make calls, not text messages. Like so when you even if text messages worked and like I said, calls work way more than text messages. Text messages are like flyers. Flyers, you put something on somebody's card, it ends up on the ground. Less than 1% of the people who get a flyer will respond to it and act on it. Text messages are the same way. They're impersonal and they're subjective and they're spammy. And so again, do the work. People are running and ducking and hiding from the work, fearful of rejection and being imperfect. Go out there and mess it up enough so you can get it right enough. So good stuff. Anybody else before we shift gears real quick here and go to the second part of training? Awesome. Well, Chris, appreciate you, bro. That was hot. That was a hot take. And guys, it's in the Facebook group. So you want to go back through. For those of you who were paying attention and just watching and not writing and typing, that's fine. It's in the Facebook group, and so you always go back and revisit it. And so what I want to do right now is this is definitely a development part and that normally I save this part in trainings like this specific part for our boot camps in like in person. Our leadership trainings. These are for people who are actually out there in the field, actually out there presenting, actually out there prospecting, people who are out there, giving testimonials or interviewing. And so some of you guys saw the title of it, why your group speakers are killing your business. And it's one of those things that when you look at just catching somebody's attention, if that caught your attention first and foremost, just put say me, or put a one in the chat or something like that. Why your group speakers are killing your business, right? And so most of the people who are going to put me, they put me because they have a group. So, and that's the most important thing you should know about that, right? And so it's of no interest to you if you are a solar person who just sells solar. That's all you're here for. You're just selling water. That's all you're here for. You might have it, you might get a little curious. But for people who actually have a group and you want to build a group, you want to know, right out the gate before you get a group, right? How not to kill your group, how not to kill your business, and that's the thing about me when I put somebody in a position and I delegate something, if they mess it up, it's on me, it's not on them because I'm the one that actually did the delegating. I'm the one that empowered them and gave them the authority to do the thing, and whatever the thing was. And so, but it also gives me something to coach, and correct, right? And so, whether it be for how to do a presentation, in every presentation you should do, guys, I'm gonna tell you, you should act as if you're doing it for the company. Because most of us, if you, Chris will tell you, Idris will tell you, Dr. Arlene will tell you, all of our presenters, Laura will tell you, anybody who does presentations on a regular basis, there's a little bit more, preparation and purpose that goes into a corporate presentation than something that you're just doing for yourself, right? And so, again, just the mindset is very, very important when it comes to you presenting, prospecting, and interviewing. And because some of you guys, like, when you interview and we tell you we're going to bring you on, ask you some questions, that's an important deal. Yeah, that's an important thing that you should prep for. And so if someone is not prepared as a presenter, as a trainer who's training on your behalf, and as a person who you're interviewing because they bought a product from you that you're pretty much attempting to use them as social proof and letting the world know that you have customers and things like that. Um, you can do yourself more harm than good if you don't make sure these people are prepared. Okay. And so this is where you're now grooming your group speakers. Okay. Grooming your group speakers. Right. As a matter of fact, I see B Ken on, right? And I know Ken in his past life, was in the entertainment industry. I ain't gonna tell you what part of the entertainment industry he's in, but yeah, I can tell you when he was at his spots, he didn't have just anybody grab a microphone, right? And so he made sure that whoever grabbed that microphone, they was gonna rock the party, they was gonna get people hyped, they was gonna get people going, and they were gonna come back next week based on how that person who had that microphone made them feel, right? And so that's what you're talking about. So if I have a presentation, I want to make sure that that presentation is lights out, not for me, lights out for the individual who's coming with me. If a person is doing a training, I want to make sure that person delivers, right? Just like the training that you just got. It's lights out, just like the training that you get on Monday nights from Idris, on Solar, or Angel on role play, right? I want to make sure it's lights out. I want to make sure that if you notice anybody and everybody that I appoint to do anything, that person is prepared, right? And so when even when I sent Chris a message last night, you know I prepped Chris on not the content. He has the content. Chris is the expert of the subject matter that he spoke on. I set expectations on what that I wanted, how I wanted it delivered, and preparation and everything else, intent, purpose, and stuff like that. That's all I did, because again, he's the expert. Here's my expectations, right? And so that's what we want to make sure we have everybody's mind right, okay, when they go to work, on your behalf or on behalf of the company, on behalf of the team. Yeah. So let's see here. Is this thing not? I thought we were recording the whole thing the whole way. Okay, so when it comes to, like I said, the mindset, mentality, it's mostly mindset and understanding, right? Um, your group, your group speakers are killing your business because of two reasons, and it's because you either like them or because you're desperate, right? I don't put anybody in a position to ruin my business based on desperation, right, or based on favoritism, right? Some of you guys are tired of seeing Carly host me, when I do the Millionaire Mentorship Call or when I do a very important presentation, and you're tired of her, not because you're tired of seeing her, you're tired of her because you're tired of not stepping up. You're tired of not being chose based on the fact that you're not on that level of professionalism, on that level of delivery that I want. It's a complaint on yourself personally, right? And that's how I always seen things, when somebody else was chose over me to do things, growing up through that industry of network marketing. And I had leaders who chose people before me. I made sure they stopped choosing people above me. I made sure that they called me first. I made sure I had the first right of refusal, right? I made sure that I increased my level of impact, even if I wasn't better than the person who spoke before me or spoke on those subject matters. I made sure that you didn't choose me to speak on your behalf based on the fact that you like me, right? Or that you was desperate and you just had to use me. Okay. But that's what most people do. I'd rather host myself if that's the case. Right. I'd rather do every presentation if that's the case. I'd rather do every training if that's the case. Because I know that every training I do, every presentation I do, I'm doing it for your prospects. So I'm not going to put the worst in front of or people who are not prepared in front of your people, right? That would be reckless. That would be disrespectful, and again, that would be a horrible business decision, and you wouldn't appreciate me for it, would you? All right. And so No. And so for me, it's about intention. It's about purpose. It's about you understanding right now. You should always be in the developmental phase. You should always be in the star search phase. You should, only have them speak because they are qualified and because they deserve to. Okay. If a person's qualified, it's because, they are out there in the field presenting. They're out there in the hunt. Like if I have, a person who and I use the name a lot. If I actually have um, a prospect for solar, you know, I, I may have just be, I may be in a position where I got 30, 40, 50 names. But you know what? If they're in California, I'm calling Matt. Because I know Matt. I know how he does business. Or I'm calling Chris. If they're in Maryland, I'm calling Dennis Macy's first. Or Hans. If they're in New York or in a lot of other different places, I'm calling eaters. I'm calling experts. I'm calling people who have repetitions. I'm calling people who qualify to represent me, right, and speak on my behalf. That's my representation, right? And so it's the same thing. If you don't have people doing, if you have, um, if you have people who are doing interviews, people who are doing presentations, people who are doing trainings, you want to have, the time and the awareness to prep them first. Okay. So understand that you represent the judgment and the credibility of the leader that took the chance on you. So if I have you speaking for me, and just know you represent me, and you may not get that opportunity to do that if you blow it. If you don't take it serious, you don't prepare. I'm not taking another chance on you until I see that you've evolved and you've actually grew up in that area on your own with your own resources. You practice on your people. You're not going to practice on mine, or you're not going to practice on the companies. Okay? And so that's important. Okay. But this also goes for presentations, trainings, like I said, interviews, not just interviewees. The person that represents you on stage impacts you in the bank, right? So that's the thing. This will help you, be more decisive. This will help you be more purposeful on developing your speakers and presenters and trainers. The person who represents you on stage, they basically, impact your bank account, whether it's going to either blow up because they're presenting, or it's going to stay the same, go backwards because you're not putting nothing in it. Okay. So again, these are just mindset and understandings. But there's a quote that triggered me and my urgency to become a better speaker, guys. And it's when I first heard it. This is when I really started to take my process of becoming a speaker to another level. And it's that people believe in people that they read about, they see on stage, they see on social media, and they hear in audios, right? So because we're in a changing time. It used to be people who they see on TV, reading books and magazines, and hear on the radio. But I've evolved it because again, it's all about social media and audios now, right? But I'm like, you know what? If they believe in people, that means that if I'm not on a magazine, I'm not in a book, I'm not on a stage, I'm not on the TV, I'm not on the radio, I'm not in the audio, they don't believe in me. I have no influence. So let me go out there and do some damage. Let me go out here and put myself in a position where I become a reliable source, right? So purpose. 2025, you guys should be some of the best communicators and connectors out there in the world. Okay, some of the best communicators, and when you look at people who are great DJs, they're not just great DJs because they know how to dominate on the wheels of steel, and that's a part of it. But what you say as a DJ, right? What you say as a person who is controlling the crowd, the audience, again, it determines whether people come back next Friday or next Saturday, right? They come back if they come back for happy hour, or if they come back to your next concert. It matters, and you have to think about it, and you have to relate it in ways, you know, um, you know, in where it parallels in some of in your life or in lives of people who are close to you, or just getting the point across. But here are a couple things, and I would say seven, different things that guys that when I say you should categories that you should really identify and you should pay attention to when you're building out your organization. These are very, very key. And the first one is preparation. Preparation is key. Everything starts with preparation. Okay. I trust me. I don't like perfectionists, because again, it's just perfectionists. I rather professional. Okay. Professionals are prepared. Okay. Perfectionists are in their heads. Perfectionists think more about them than they do the result. They think more about them and how they're going to come across than the actual thing itself, than the actual client themselves. Right. So when you're talking about preparation, you want to set the expectations, right? And so if you have to communicate. Let me just say that you have to communicate what you expect from them, and the webinar's purpose. So if I'm, like if I'm talking to, you know, Solar Vic, like last week, hey, this is what we want. I want to make sure that when we interview you, we want to make sure we have this conversation. And these are some of the talking points that I want you to have. These are some of the talking points I want you to give. This is what type of, result I want, right? Because what's the end result that you're looking for, guys? That's a very, very important, thing to communicate to that person. That's a very, very important expectation, right? And so you want to go over the format as well. And also when it comes to setting expectations, if you're doing anything online, being on time, it's like a sin. Being early is what's expected. Always be early. Never be on time. Being on time is basically being late, and being late is unacceptable. So setting expectations is very, very important. Another part of preparation, number one, is the second part is the tech, brief. You want to make sure that you inspect what you expect. Okay. You want to make sure that your guests understand the technical requirements and how to navigate through Zoom and stuff like that. Right. What time to get on the Zoom. Like if you're presenting with me, I always tell you get on there 15 minutes early. I'm on there 20 to 25 minutes. If I already have the lines open, right? I'm on there 25 minutes early most of the time. And so I want to make sure you get on there 15 minutes early to make sure that everything that you got works. Make sure your mic works. Make sure you have your slides right. Make sure that your connection is good. Make sure that your background is tight. Make sure whatever it is, that technical time, your microphone, how you basically how to share your screen. The best ways to do different things, the flow, the points. You just the test your mic, all that good stuff. I want to make sure we have a tech brief. Third part of number one, content review. What's the pain point for the masses? That's always important. The things that you're going to drive home, right? You're like when Aegis does the presentation and he gets that slide, what do you see now? And boom, everybody already know what I'm about to say. You see a house that needs everything that we got. They need solar, they need water, right? A water filtration system. They need, ripple security, and they need financial, education. And so, again, that's a point that he drives home, right? Point that I drive home, basically a lot of something, especially now, is that the people are already paying for solar, or you have other points like you want to, you want to treat your lights like you treat your mortgage. You're not going to rent your house while rent your mortgage, you rent your energy. So you want to know your points, know your jokes. You want to make sure you share and go over the relevant content. The flow of it. Make sure they know how the flow is going to go. Points of emphasis, webinars, agenda, talking points, strategy, any strategic questions, especially on the interview perspective. Like myself and Winston's, we went over the questions. So I sent him questions, and he said, "Okay, well, great. This is the thing. These are two questions. I don't want those two questions there. Awesome, no problem, right?" And so, cool part about it, he skimmed over them, didn't create answers for them. He wanted to answer them. He wanted to answer them naturally, but he saw after skimming over, he's like, I know for a fact that those are two questions I don't want to answer right now. And so we one of those questions we have a platform we're going to answer on another platform. Another question that we're not in a place to answer that question at the moment. Cool. So that's preparation, making sure everybody's on the same page, right? Number two, okay. This is interview, presentation, or training format and structure. Okay. And so the interview style, you want to explain the interview style, and you want to make sure that the person knows it's either formal or it's what the tone that's expected, the flow, expectations, and pre-coaching. You want to give you want to, like I said, inspect what you expect. Go, especially if you're going with someone who you're grooming. And again, this is all about developing and grooming. You want to go over a person, go over all of this with that individual. Let them know what we're doing, and let them know why. Let them know the impact, right? Let them know what can go wrong or how it can cost you, right? And so when you have these type of conversations with people, they get it, they understand it more, and now it's not like you bossing them around. Now you really are teaching them, and you're developing them, and you're coaching and counseling and mentoring them, and they receive it, right? They embrace it because people want to be taught, people want to be led, right? The other part of this is question types. Okay. Inform the guests about the types of questions that they'll be asked. Is if there's going to be open ended questions or scenario based questions, and ask them, create questions that are based around so if it's let's say give example, if it's water. So some of you see me doing presentations in the future. I'll have some people on who are going to be doing some testimonials, and it'll be water sales. It might be solar sales, or it might be solar systems. So I'll ask questions about how are they enjoying it, what type of savings that they have, and different types of questions that I'll create that trigger emotional responses, but also those are the same questions that the masses will actually have. Those are selling point questions as well, right? And so like Chris said, you know a lot of y'all are not asking people, your prospects, questions, and that's why you don't have the intel that you need to close a deal or have them close themselves, right? you get you, your quality of life will be in direct proportion to the quality of the questions that you ask yourself, ask other people as well, right? So again, the question that you ask in interviews, the question that you even ask in presentations when nobody's answering those questions, even though they're hypothetical questions or just questions that you're moving on from, it triggering thoughts, triggering emotions. So you want to go over that content. You want to go over that stuff. You want to go over those types of questions. And then the last part of that second part is time management. It's crucial, guys, to stay within the allotted time, frame of each question, and stay away from rabbit holes, right? And don't be the hero. You got a lot of people who the first time they get a microphone, it's like they got a cape and an S on their chest, like it's like I'm here. I'm ready to rock and roll. Here I am. It's my stage. It's my no, 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 no. What you do when you do that. Now you kill the deal. You gotta learn how to say more with less, right? I used to have one of my buddies and business partners I used to do business with back in the day. When I was in coffee, you have most text messages, they have it set to where it's like 160 characters on one text before it turns into a second page of the text. And so I would have text messages, and it'd be like 2 pages of text messages, but I would go and start rewriting things and re-editing things, and all of a sudden I got everything on one page, 159 characters, 160 characters, and he's like, dude, I have never seen anybody, who can put together a text message like you on one page. It's everybody else stuff be like 2, 3 pages, and people don't read 2, 3 page texts, but it's the same thing when I communicate, on a slide. It's the same thing when I communicate, when I do a presentation or when I have a conversation with somebody. I want to say more, okay, in a small time, in a small window. I want to give more time, for the Q&A, or I want to give more time for the answer of the person who I'm talking to, or I just want to get through the presentation in enough time to where it's not painful. Okay. So you got a lot of people who are, again, in network marketing, and when you are in network marketing, you're doing presentations, you're doing trainings. Your goal is to be profound, to sound like you're smarter than everybody in the room, and that you're overly intelligent or extremely successful. It's about you, and that's why you don't, recruit. That's why you leave deals on the table. That's why you get frustrated, because it's about you. When you make it about the individual, you respect their time, right? With time management. When you make it about your leaders who invited you to speak on their behalf or with them, you respect their time. That leader is the actual closer. That leader is the authority. That leader is the credibility. That leader is the person who is bringing you in and ushering you in using their influence and their credibility. So for you to try to, outshine or outpace or try to keep up with the lead, that's not your job. Don't worry about how you come off when you speaking with JC. Okay. JC's been doing that for a long time. Right. Don't worry about how you come off when you're speaking with, the Navarros or the Pacheco's or whoever it is, myself, whatever. It, the job is to make sure that we get those people educated, informed, impacted, and off that call in a specific amount of time. Okay. Or you come in as an interviewee and you're done with that question. Boom. You drove that point home, bam, 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 turn the microphone back over. And some of it is not on purpose. Okay. Some of it is because you're nervous, right? Some people, they get the microphone for the first time and all of a sudden you start answering the question and you go down this rabbit hole and you don't know how to come out of it. And you just keep on talking and keep on talking and keep on talking and keep on talking. And now you force a person to have an unnatural break, in your conversation, right? And you don't want that to happen because now you'll have people misjudge you, thinking that you did it on purpose, or thinking that you had ego, or thinking that it was all about you, and it wasn't. You just wasn't prepared. So for me, I'll have bullet points. I have index cards and stuff like that with answers on them, and my questions and my answers, so I know exactly how to answer and stop talking. Sometimes, like when I first started learning this and understanding this, it would be a dry stop and it would be awkward, but I didn't overtalk. And then the expert would come back in and say, okay, great, love that answer. And then they'll do their thing. But I'd rather do that than overtalk and then people think that, I'm making this thing about me. Right. So in time panel, say more with less, stay away from long answers, and just and give the people what they want. Right. And so humility is very, very important. Now the third thing, best practices for on-camera interviews. So there are three parts to this. Video tips, right? You want to make sure you create the proper mood with the video settings, such as your lighting, your background, camera angles, and stuff like that, right? It's very, very important. I was listening to a person who um, she was talking about spacing. Like you have a person you just met, it's probably you'll be standing with that person 3 to 5 feet from that person. That person who you're comfortable with and familiar with, and y'all are having a conversation. You just seen each other again. He might be 1 to 3 inches from somebody, right? And somebody who's you're intimate with, you're less than you're 1 foot or less than 1 foot away from that individual. And so even when you're on the screen, you want to be, 1 to 3 feet from the screen. You don't want to be all up in the people's face like this, because now I'm in your face. Now it's like I'm in your personal space, right? You see the difference? And so, hey, you don't want me in your face. You don't want to be in people's face. You want to make sure that you, again, whatever you're doing in person, you want to be able to have that same, whatever is right in person is right on camera, right? Body language and nonverbal cues. This is another part of best practices. Number two, body language and body cues. Maintaining eye contact, smiling, using engaging body language, right? Pay attention to what a person's body is saying, right? Facial expressions, gestures, all that good stuff, posture, clothing, jewelry, grooming. People can see all of that on video. They can see it on, they can read you on video, they can see it on video. And you can turn a person off or turn a person on video based on gestures and things like that. These are things that you want to be aware of, right? The third part of number three is speaking clearly and purposefully, right? Speaking clearly and purposefully. So you just want to make sure you remind any of your presenters and your speakers to pay attention to the clarity, to the delivery, to avoid filler words and isms. You stay away from run-on sentences, provide concise answers. Like I said, again, go back to saying more or less, but also tone of your voice, pace, pitch, or cadence. I have and I'm talking about this a little bit later, but you know, just so I can remind myself of my pace, my tone, my pitch, I have an affirmation. One part of my affirmation before I speak is, or my prayer declaration is, thank you, God, for allowing me to deliver this information in a manner that people can receive it based on, the excellence in my pace, my pitch, my tone, my enunciation, articulation, and pronunciation, so that they can make a decision based on what they hear that's best for their family, not mine. And so, but that's how I, center myself. That's how I get my mind right. That's how I now slow down and talk real time, but be on purpose. So again, speaking clearly and purposefully is very, very important. And you want to, again, a lot of these different things you'll be training and teaching in different segments, and a lot of this stuff that you can go find on YouTube and literally get better at all these individual things, because this is what I'm giving you guys. This is not a one-day training. These are things that you're going to have to get better at and evolve in, over time. But number 4, handling common challenges. Handling common challenges. Number 1 and number 4 is technical issues. Like I said, address the potential technical issues such as internet connectivity, computer problems, audio delays, all the things that you've seen happen. Now, you'll have people who will come on and all of a sudden they can't pull up their slide deck, or it's like you see everything is in their back office, or you see everything that's on their computer desktop. you know Go over how to make sure none of that actually happens, because it's happened to us all. Make sure the connectivity, if you know you have bad connections in your house, get on. That's why you get on early. But go over all the things that can go wrong, because they will go wrong. And what happens is, now you have an audience in front of you, and when you have an audience in front of you, all that anxiety increases. Boom. And now you need somebody to bail you out if you can't get through it, right? And so this is the tedious stuff. This is the stuff that you really don't consider as important, but it costs you thousands of dollars. Okay. So for me, I pay attention to the details, when it comes to um, making money. This is the type of stuff that, for me, my personality trait, I hate the details. Okay. But I hate losing money and cost and losing business more than I hate the details. I like to have fun, and ain't nothing fun about going through dry runs and talking about technical issues. Okay, but being on a presentation and bombing is worse. All right. So, difficult questions. Number 2 in that part: prepare your guests potentially for difficult or sensitive questions. If you know that you're going to have questions that a person is going to have to answer, and they may be uncomfortable with answering those questions, or may not want to answer those questions at all, you want to make sure you go over them and guide them on how to answer the question, advise them on why it's important that question is asked, and how it's going to look to the audience. Because most people think that, like, for transparency purposes, I never wanted to talk about my bankruptcy, my repossession, my foreclosure, my wife being 6 months pregnant, and we almost we're in a point where we're almost losing everything, and that was ego. Okay, that was ego. When you're going through things, most people don't want to talk about things. But when you're interviewing somebody and they've went through that stuff and they've overcome that stuff, that they don't understand that that's their superpower. They think it's a weakness. They think it's something to be embarrassed about. And so when you share with a person, you have a conversation. That's just one example, on comfortable, on how to make a person comfortable with the uncomfortable, how to walk. And after they actually show them, roll up their sleeves and show their scars and stuff like that, guys, that's those are the type of conversations you want to be able to have with people. There are a lot of people who are broke, who are rich right now. They used to be broke, and they don't even want you to know they've ever been broke. That's not going to help you. It's not going to help anybody else. They're the best movies are the movies that had peaks and valleys. The best movies are when you see a person, the movie opens and you see somebody sleeping on the park bench because they lost everything, and by the end, they're winning. It's not the person who won the whole entire movie, right? They were excellent. They were rich the whole entire movie. There's no plot to that. There's no interest in that. There's no impact in that. Right? So, difficult questions, difficult conversations, and the third part about that, staying focused. And this is a thing about, offering tips and maintaining, as focus and engagement during the interview. When you are on podcasts, when you're on webinars, and someone else is presenting and you're not, you want to make sure you are showing a person how to behave. You want to make sure you're showing a person that you're engaged. You want to make sure that you show a person that you're interested. And so like when you're on a, give me an example, when you're on a presentation with a mentor, yes, you don't want to be yawning. You don't want to be doing other things. You don't want to be getting up and down, and you don't want to be turning your camera on and off. You want to be there. One, you want to be there because you want them to know that you care about them and the decision that they're about to make. Two, that conversation is one of the most important conversations that you'll ever have because that's the conversation that you're learning from. That's school, right? Your tuition was the invites, all the stuff that you worked, all the hard work you did, was payment, to get that person in front of whoever the mentor is. And so you're now in class based on the tuition you just paid. Don't disrespect all the hard work you did by being absent while you're sitting there. Okay. Be there, be present. Right? You're teaching people how to behave. Right. Remember, when you see people who are successful or you see people who are failures in life, it's based on learned behaviors. It's based on the people who they watched be a failure or people who they watched be a winner, right? So that's very, very important. So stay focused, stay on purpose. Number 5, okay? And we have 2 more to go after this, but number 5, rehearsal and feedback. Rehearsal and feedback, okay? First part of that is 3 parts on this as well. It's 3 parts on all these things, but you want to make sure you do a dry run or a rehearsal, especially if you don't know uh, if a person's that like say for presenters, if a person's ever done a presentation, they can send it to you, right? But if a person's done a presentation but they're not doing presentations, I'm not putting a person in front of the field. I'm not putting you in front of the group just because you want to present. Yeah, I'll put you in front of the group because you are presenting, and I like your presentation style, or I feel like we can mold your presentation style and get you to a place where you can represent the company. But those rehearsals are very, very important. Going over different topics, different parts of the presentation, and seeing what they have to say and measuring that for them. Okay, especially if you never worked together before. Number 2, second part of that is hosting and edification preparation. See, the hosting and the edification preparation are key because the hosting and the edification preparation are what sets up, the actual keynote speaker or the next speaker, right? And so, when I do like that, like when I did a presentation with Idris, everybody was like, "Man, that y'all's flow was in sync." The transition, what Jeremy was saying, how the transition was in sync based on edification, right? And so again, so when you know a person's edification and you worked over it and you studied it and you made it, to point to where you may not have it memorized, but even if you were reading it off a card, nobody would know that you're reading it. Okay. You want people to know that you truly believe in the individual who you're about to introduce, even if you're the expert. Because see, normally as the higher ranking individual in a situation, you're never supposed to um, introduce the person who is on your success team. You have someone introduce them, but sometimes you don't have an individual who can introduce the first speaker. Okay, and not just introduce them, but do it on a high level that will get the audience to sit there and listen to what the first speaker has to say. So for me, I want to protect the brand. For me, I want to protect your investment in time. For me, I want to make sure that the people who you have that are sitting there and they just tuned in, I want to make sure that they never get off. I want to make sure that they're listening to that first speaker, even though I may be the senior partner. I want to make sure that they're listening to that first speaker as if they were listening to me. And if I do a good enough job, they'll still be around to hear me speak. I don't want people jumping off based on the fact that they think it's a hype show, or based on the fact that they don't have any value for the upcoming speaker because the person who introduced them didn't have any value, or based on the fact that the person who spoke first had to introduce themselves. right? And so that part is very, very key. And that's a part that it's going to require some humility and some understanding. Okay. And so that edification part, when you host, you have the most important job in the presentation. It's not the presenter, right? If you don't tee up the audience to and tee up the presenter to where the audience is going to stay there and they want to stay there and they know why they need to stay there, I'm gonna just tell you right now that you're not going to get the enrollments. You're not going to get the customers because that person is already distracted based on how you de-edify them. Okay. Remember, no edification is still de-edification. Right. Misedification is still de-edification, and people don't want to listen to people who you don't respect. So when I talk about somebody and when I introduce them, I'm gonna let them know that this person is the aficionado, this person is the expert, this person has the results that you're looking for, this person has sold X amount of things that you're about to hear us, pitch or whatever it is. I want to make sure that you know that there's no place more important to be than where you're at right now with the person you're about to hear from. All right. And so, uh, man, what's the name of that movie? It's a movie, and it's a matter of fact, Heath Ledger. Y'all actually might know the movie, and Heath Ledger, the actor who played the Joker in Batman, he passed away in the middle of the movie, but Heath Ledger played a role in a movie. It was way back, when they used to joust
Knight's
and
Tale.
Nice. So there you go. There we go. There we go. There we go. It's a beautiful movie, by the way. It's one hell of a chick flick.
Hilarious.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, when I say comedy, sheer comedy, but a great story. That he talks about changing his stars, and I actually thought about writing a book called "Changing Your Stars," but it's the part that's in the movie that I'm talking about specifically right here. When you talk about the edifier, the person who introduced him every time he got on that horse, every time he got ready to go to battle, that dude had everybody in the audience going. He had every king, every queen, every whoever was out there to see that event. He had them blown away. They were ready to watch this guy, and so go watch Nice Tale and go see what true edification really looks like on an entertaining platform. Nice Tale it's you'll love it. You'll thank me for it too. I appreciate that. But bringing it to the table. But hosting and edification preparation, I spend more time on that than anything because it's the one thing most people need more time on anything than anything. Most y'all just want to say, hey, take it away, Johnny. Hey, take it away, Matt. Hey, take it away, Roxy. And no, tell them why they need to listen to Chris. Tell them why they need to listen to Laura. Tell them why they need to listen to Angel, and give them the fear of loss because if they move, they're gonna miss something. All right. The third part of that is feedback and coaching. Okay. Always provide constructive criticism, feedback, and coaching to help those individuals who just spoke, just presented, or who you just interviewed. Okay. This is not about, oh man, you did an amazing job, and you know for a fact that although it may have been a great job, there are a couple of things they need to work on that may be costing them money. Okay, it's and this is the thing: if you're uncomfortable coaching people, you're uncomfortable giving people constructive criticism and feedback that they really need to know, right? That's going to help your business and theirs. This is a question that you might want to write down, right? Okay, and I'll give you a second. Type this down, write this down. This question will save it'll save your relationships, and it'll help you become a better coach. If I knew if I knew you were saying something in your presentations that will cost you money and cost you customers, would you want me to tell you? Right? If I knew you were saying something in your presentations, okay, that was costing you money or costing you customers, would you want me to tell you? Of course. Okay. And then that's when you package, you know, some of the all the good with some corrective criticism. Okay, well, man, you did this fantastic. Your energy was excellent. Your content was on point and on purpose. Man, I love the way you drove it home, and I'm glad that you didn't turn this thing into a comedy show. But it's like you came off as you had a huge ego, or you came off as a person who was inexperienced in your industry, or you came off as boring in certain situations because you kept on giving nothing but facts, or you didn't tell any stories, or whatever it is. You want to make sure you give some feedback, give some really good, authentic coaching, genuine coaching, and so that person can make those necessary corrections, and they'll make those necessary corrections based on them giving you permission to tell them what it is and what they need help on. Okay. So, last two here are final preparations. We'll go to final preparations here. And for me, the final preparations is before you speak, before you actually hit the scene, before it's lights, cameras, and actions. For me, I do affirmations, prayers, and declarations. I do prep reading, so for me, I'll take something, and I still do it every once in a while. I don't do it as much as I used to, but when I say prep reading, I naturally talk fast. I have it's like speed talk, right? And so, I'll go and I'll read something like video tips, create proper mood with video, and so it slows me down to where now I'm talking normal. Now I'm speaking like Tim, or now I'm speaking like Dale, or now I'm speaking like Jessica. I'm speaking normal, like a normal individual, and I'm not having run-on sentences, sentences with no punctuation like I used to speak. So I'm prepping myself for a decent to great delivery. One, two, I'm giving myself expectations with my declarations and my affirmations. You know, I'm a great speaker and presenter, and people pay to hear me speak. Every time I open my mouth, people come from north, they come from south, the east, and the west to hear my message. Every time I do a presentation, everybody signs up, right? And so these are affirmations that I tell myself, before I speak. These are conversations I have with myself before I speak. So now I move in, expectations based on what I just told myself, based on my pre-programming. Okay. And so I'm talking about that final preparation, right? Also, so make sure your people have their whatever it is. Like I told you earlier, I thank my creator for the ability to deliver a message in a manner that people can receive it and make a decision that's best for them and their family. Okay. But I gave you the actual version earlier. So get with people and help them find out, what's going to put them in that proper frame of mind. And so when you do different declarations and affirmations, a lot of people understand that. And when I say helps you get over the fear, it helps you get over the fear. Also, you want to listen to find your hottest song, the hype song, your song that you love that drives you crazy. You turn it on and you're gonna get turned up. Even if you don't listen to the whole song, you don't get a chance to listen to the whole song. Find your song. My wife's song is she's got Mary J. Blige is her favorite artist, and she listens to Mary J. Blige before she presents or before she speaks. I have several, you know, and I don't want y'all to judge me, so I'm not telling y'all what I listen to, but I go in, I get crunk, and I have to come down. But you do it because let me tell you why. A lot of y'all, you cram like you cramming for an exam, and you look at all your notes, you look at all your bullet points, you look at all your clutch jokes, you look at all your pain points, you look at all your trial closes, you're looking at all this stuff, and you're looking at it right before you present, right before you train, right before you interview. You're looking at this stuff, and you see what I'm doing? All this stuff is and this is what's happening. It's all coming together. It's all collapsing. It's all happening right here, and on your frontal lobe. It's all happening right here in your conscious thought, your conscious brain. And when you start to speak, you speak. With uncertainty, you speak. Everything is messed up. Everything because everything is all over the place up in here. Right? It's all right here. When you listen to your favorite song, something that's gonna get you crunk, something that's gonna get you hyped, something that you're gonna bang out to, and then what happens is now when you put that song there, all that stuff that you had right here, it goes away. Goes away. Boom. It dissipates. And guess what happens? When you grab that microphone and you start speaking, it starts to come back one at a time. And then you send it out, it comes back, and you send it out, it comes back, and you send it out. And all of a sudden, you have a nice, flowing, energetic, delivery, concise information, everything that you've been doing is coming out, boom. And people are like, man, this is awesome, right? You're not confused. The stuff is not jumbled up. Listen to your song, find your song. Encourage and support. Okay. Encourage and support. Um, so encourage them from where you see them, and where you see their skill set. Okay. Let them know this is trust me, you're gonna do well and you may make some mistakes, but at the end of the day, you're gonna get better. And let them know what they do great and what they need to work on. Okay. But that encouragement, man, let's go ahead and get this thing knocked out. One more notch on the belt, and just boom, do your thing. I got your back. Anything you mess up on, I'm here for you. I'm speaking after you, so don't worry about it. Or if it's an interview, don't worry about it. You make a mistake, I'll come back and I'll ask the question a different way. But I got you. I'm here for you. I'm here to support. I got you. We're gonna make this thing happen, right? And so the last part of final preparations is you want your speakers and your guests to feel comfortable and prepared for the webinar. That's exactly why you get them, in final preparation, because again, when a person has, prepared properly and they are professionals, they feel their best. They don't feel as much anxiety as most people. And even if they do feel anxiety, once they start talking, all of that goes away. Okay. The last is number 7, vision and reward. Okay. And make sure person one knows what's in it for them. Okay. WIIFN, what's in it for you? So if you are now, like, if I'm talking to Chris, like, give me an example. Let's say I'll start with Matt first. Say, Matt, so just for the record, I'll do your first presentation, but I'm not doing all of them. And I said, but you're going to do them, right? And Matt would say, we had this conversation. You're going to do them because you're the leader. You don't want me to be the leader in your group, Matt. And what's in it for Matt? Matt gets to be the leader of his group, right? He don't have to defer to me. Okay. Matt gets to be the source. He gets to be the guy, right? He gets to be the lightning rod in his group. He don't have to come looking for me, or he don't have to come looking for Winston. He don't have to come looking for JC. He is the guy, right? And so we had that conversation, right? And next thing you know, boom. Not only did I do the first one, but then me and Matt did a pre-presentation on a Tuesday night before we did his presentation together. So now he had a practice, a trial run in, boom, on the group night. Then he did his night, and then all of a sudden he started doing his own. Right? That's what's in it for him. Right? Chris Mack. So hey, Chris, this is what's gonna happen. You start doing this, you start building, you start presenting, you start training, and all of a sudden you get more visibility, right? You want to build a big group, you want to get to build 8,000, and now you want to do what you want your people to do. If you want to get to build 8,000, guess what? You need people in your group doing 4 presentation showcases every week. If you're not doing any, guess what? They won't do any. So what's in it for him? He gets to lead by example, right? You get builder 8,000. If you go over here and do all this stuff we're talking about, bro, and you work on all this stuff we're talking about, and you prepared, we knock out this presentation, right? You knock out this training, or you knock out this interview, bro, that gets you closer to builder 8,000. That puts you in the driver's seat to be a better leader, right? That puts you in a position where now you be the authority as opposed to JC being the authority, opposed to Sam Bean being the authority, opposed to Winston Navarro being the authority, right? You want to be the authority, not because of your ego, but it's required if you're going to be a builder or an exec, right? And so you always talk about what's in it for them. Okay, monetarily, money comes with all that stuff, but you have to, you know, put it on a position, or put it on a rank, or put it on some recognition, or put it on, something that, some visibility. You got to put it on, you know, to turn the person into a superstar, whatever it is. What's in it for them? Okay? You're catering to them. They have to be motivated and inspired to do so, and they will only do so and perform and rise to the level of where you need them to be if they have a reason to do so. Okay, what's in it for the audience? Well, Well, Chris, if you do this right, bro, everybody who are on this train today, they'll get off this call, they'll start calling realtors today, and they'll be more confident about it. You know what, Dr. Arlene, you do this presentation with me, guess what's going to happen? They're going to now see that they are not listening to some ex-network marketer who made millions of dollars, who's selling, you know, some type of pills, potion, or lotion. They're hearing a actual doctor, you know, talk about business. And now you're introducing a whole new level of credibility to our company and our corporation. So now you have people in position who are willing to listen just because you're a doctor. What's in it for the audience? They now guess if you do this, if you do this training right, if you do this training right, Idris, man, everybody who we talk to, they get to save money, or they get to end up on Soul and one day not have a bill, right? If we do this right, Angel, if you do this training right, you have people who will go out there because of your role playing. They can have a conversation with anybody and not just be great in sales. They'll be great in communicating and having a social life. When some of these people are introverts, now they can actually be extroverts. Okay, and basically you'll be the reason for that season. So what's in it for the audience, right? Then the last part is that how will it impact your group and the company? Hey, when I say vision and rewards, how will it impact your group and the company? Right? How do you think, so if, okay, so Sabrina, how do you think your group is going to look at you when they see that we do this presentation? And if you put 30 people on here, now when you do a presentation for them, guess what they're going to have? 30, right? And so now you turn around and do a presentation, you had 68 people on there. Man, now your people are inspired. You turn around next week, you have almost 40 people or a little bit over 40 people. Now they're still inspired. And all of a sudden now you're setting the example for your people, but you're also setting an example for the company, and so people in the company are excited. Roxy, Matt, hey, what I'm saying, what's it going to do for your group? What's it going to do for your company? Okay, well, this is what's happening. And so now I'm talking about, if this happens, this is what's going to happen. Like having a conversation with Matt, on building and launching and rank advancing and creating all those conversations. Roxy posting everything, it's had an effect on the company. It's had an effect on, her group. But you want to paint that picture, that that's what's going to happen, before they actually start to do it. You want to motivate them and say, this is why your group is going to move, after you do this. This is how the company is going to perceive you after you do this. This is how the company is going to empower you, employ you, and utilize you, after you do this. The company is going to receive these benefits. Your group are going to receive these benefits. And you're going to be a 360-degree leader because you put people in a position where now they can follow you, they can trust you, they can lean on you, they can rely on you, right? You become the authority, the aficionado. They know for a fact that they're going to grow based on you, some kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. So again, so when you're grooming your speakers, you're talking, you're grooming your audience, or you're grooming your people for your audiences, as that's important. This is the only way you work your way out of a job. Okay. Yeah, people who own companies, you know how they work their way out of jobs? By franchising. The more franchise they have, the more money they make. The more points of distribution they have, guess what? The less work they have to do. All they have to do is be innovative. All they have to do is make sure you don't mess it up. All they have to do is make sure you are properly trained. All they have to do, you know what I'm saying, is stay legal and compliant. All they have to do is make sure that the brand continues to grow. That's why, they groom. That's why you can't act a certain way, out, like when you're in a franchise, as you can't do your own thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a franchise is set up to as failure prevention, right? Franchises grow. They don't go out of business. Like I said, you find a franchise to go out of business, that's a very small percentage of a failure. Every franchise you see, every corner you go to, that's social proof for that franchise. Every speaker you have in your organization, that's social proof for your leadership. Every testimony you have in your group, every interview you do, that's social proof for your leadership and your business, right? And so, again, just know that whether you understood what just happened this moment and you understand what I just trained on, I know that it matters. 7-figure people get this, multiple 6-figure people get this. If you want to be a multiple 6-figure person, multiple 7-figure person, go back and get an understanding of what I just talked about, because it's not if you have people coming to your group, it's when, right? And if you ever want to work your way out of a job, you want to make sure you replace yourself with people who are very efficient, very effective, and people who are clones. Not necessarily they steal your identity, but they have your philosophies, they have your principles, and they know how to move. You prepare them so you know exactly what to expect. So, with that, guys, again, appreciate each and every last one of you guys being here on Saturday to take your business and your life to the next level. As we started this call off, we did start with a moment of silence for people in California. So if you didn't, if you wasn't on earlier on, make sure after we release the call, just send some prayers and some encouragement, to the people who are there, people who are going through and growing through, and again, let them know that you care. So, I love you guys. Don't know what I'd do without you, but I do know this: we're gonna win together. So, see you guys at the top, see you guys at the bank, and see you guys on the beaches of the world, and see you guys in your market, California, Houston, Maryland, and for the rest of y'all who I'm not, who I don't have a date in your market yet, make sure that it happens. All right, take care, guys.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr.